Hello, coffee people. My name is Irina Sharipova, and I'm coffee educator and consultant. I'm a host of the podcast Coffee Business in the Middle East, where we discuss everything related to the coffee business in the Middle East region with coffee leaders of the industry, such as business owners, coffee trading companies, cafes, and coffee professionals. In the ninth episode, I speak with Pratama from Encounter Roastery. We discuss about how to grow your skills in the coffee industry and about his new position in EatX company. Hi Prama, how are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Yes.
And how are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to the podcast, Coffee Business in the Middle East. I'm happy to have you here. And you work now in Encounter Roastery, which is the part of EatX project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you describe your current job right now? What is this about? Because you know the Encounter is very well known, but they belong to this huge F&B project. Could you give us info about that?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure for me to share the table with you. So, right now I'm recently just started work with EatX. So EatX is the kind of the mother company of who owns the Encounter. So we focus in food and beverage and hospitality in general. And my designation there as head of coffee and also operations for the roastery. So not for the whole group, but only specifically for the roastery. So my kind of responsibilities there includes for roastings, more into the quality control side. We have the head roaster and other person who roast the coffees, so I can focus more in the quality control side. I do training as well, and then if we are planning to open, let's say, new venues that is also serving coffees, then there's gonna be my involvement also on that specific project, and also sourcing green coffees, trying to find different source, and pretty much all things related to coffee in the group.
Okay. Yeah, so your position is head of coffee.
Yeah.
And coffee operations.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting role. And before started to work in that position, what was your career ladder? Because you know, I want to discuss with you how every barista can see the opportunity to develop themselves, because you know the barista it's not the end job, right?
Yeah.
So how did you ended up in this position?
Well, I mean that's a long journey, technically. So I started. Of course, I was a barista a long time ago, but I started not even as a barista. So it was like I graduated from economic and business management back in the university. So at that time, I had to finish the project about marketing. So in that time, I think 2014, around that time, in that region, back in my country, in Indonesia, we still have limited coffee shop who knows how to optimize kind of social media and this stuff to push their revenues, something like that. So I was lucky enough to found a coffee shops where that time the head barista was like the regional barista champion. So I kind of tried to set a deal with her, like, okay, I want to learn about this thing about coffee, so I will offer you my service in return, which is I will do the photograph and kind of making free content for them. In returns, she need to teach me how to make coffee, basically. Wow. Something like that. So started from that, and then I think I spent roughly around 3 years in this local coffee shops in Indonesia. And then I got, it was like some online advertisement with a Japanese brand that is, I think that time they tried to expand to Middle East. It was a percent Arabica, and they were planning to open in Kuwait that time. And I was like, I mean, that time in coffee industry, our hype was pretty much about latte art.
Yeah.
So I was like, this guy, he was like, who's his name? Junichi Yamaguchi, who always
yes,
make
everyone
fine
followed
lines.
him
Yeah,
that time.
that time he was very famous about that,
Yeah.
and everyone wants to be like him
Yeah.
that time. And then I was like, I think it's cool if I try to work with this Japanese brand. And then I decided to register to submit my my CV, and you have to submit like video how you prepare coffee.
Okay.
Back then, the trial or the interview was still, we are using Skype, and then if you pass that interview, you're gonna have to send your video of preparing espresso and milk course, something like that. I mean, that time that's how they do interview for overseas, and I managed to pass the interview and the video submission. Then fast forward, I joined Arabica in 2017, I think.
So where exactly? Here?
In Kuwait, no.
In Kuwait.
Yeah,
okay,
so
so they invited
never.
you finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
They invited me in 2017. I start as a barista, and I think when like the feeling when you just found something interesting. That time for me, coffee was interesting because it is something new.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people who jumped into coffee, they sacrifice something. At that time, I sacrificed, I think so I was planning to continue my my study in other major, but because I was so into coffee that time, so I decided, okay, I will leave my this course and then I will chase coffee. So that time my willingness to learn was so high. So within 6 months, I got promoted to head barista, and then after another 6 months, 1 year, I was supposed to designated as a store manager, but that time, Arabica Kuwait they were planning to open a roastery, but you have to pass the exam again if you want to become a roaster there, one of the roaster. So I said, okay, this being a store manager, I think offers more, I would say, more money in financial side, but I feel like I can even go further in specialty coffee if I try something else, which is in the being a roaster. So after almost every day after shift, because I was kind of the head barista, so I utilized my my ability to change some schedule. I put some of the days in the morning shift, so in the afternoon I can come to the roastery to learn. Because I don't have experience in roasting the time, so I have to find a way to learn before the exam comes. So I need to be few steps ahead of the other candidates. So that's the moment when I start roasting. I think that time we have three candidates who join the exams to be a roaster, and then based on the score I get only me that time pass. So there's already head roaster there, so they are looking for junior roaster. So I passed the exam. Then I start roasting. It was something really demanding in terms of knowledge, I think, knowledge and techniques. So many things, because being a roaster is not just about how you roast the coffee. You kind of have to equip yourself with sensory and then you need to know about a little bit about processing, and then you need to know also about farm sector, which is when is the harvest, and what you need to do, and how to plan the grain buying a little bit. So it's kind of pretty much everything, which is I have no experience when I was in the bar. So it is something new and something exciting for me. And after sometimes, no, that time I think the head roaster finished the contract, so I got promoted to become head roaster, and then I hired a new roaster after that. Then I spent I think 2 years as a head roaster there. It was great experience. I mean, we had a lot of good coffee that times, 2016, 17,
Wow.
when the 16, 17, 18, that time 90 plus was really booming. I think they still had, I still remember I taste 90 plus where it came from Ethiopia. There is Kenjin Nekise. They still it was still from Ethiopia that year, and some from Panama. So that was very, very exciting, and it was
That's
a long
exciting.
time.
But hold on, in Arabica they slightly over roast coffee, don't they?
Not slightly. I said I think there are. I mean for the because
So you have like standards.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
used to
that's
have, and
true.
still they have
Yeah.
standards. But let's calibrate on this page. So the Arabica itself, it's the American Japanese project.
yeah.
Yes.
A little bit
So and all standards go from
from Japan.
main
Yeah,
office,
from-
Japan.
from Kyoto.
Yeah, so it belongs to their taste. And then how would they teach the Middle East with this dark roasted
Yeah.
coffee?
That's quite challenging actually.
They are guilty with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, on that time, I think we had a pretty good resource. I mean, when that time not everyone has 90 plus, and we got a lot in the warehouse. That was for me like, and I knew the potential of this coffee. So I was like, why do we roast it
So,
until this?
yes,
this,
why?
Yeah, this level, and then we had also other origins, not 90 plus, but it is also nice coffees. I mean, we source from pretty big farms back then. So, but the thing is about it's franchise, right? So it's
You cannot move.
Yeah, you cannot change it. Even we have, apart from coffee, we have cups that came from Japan. That this is the only
So
cups that we can use. Yeah,
Okay.
every
So
small
they're
detail.
super strict.
Yeah,
with that.
they're super
So you
strict.
cannot experiment with recipes, with coffee roasting profile. So you have to be super,
Yeah.
like follow the standards.
Yeah, so for customer, there are certain guidelines and restriction that you need to follow. They want it to be the same in Japan, but I think the way I see it that time, we are kind of losing. For first, second years, I think it was fine, but when there are many local roasteries start opening in area, that's the moment I think we kind of get affected, because they roast better than us with less quality of green coffees than what we have.
Yeah.
So I noticed that, because I always go around and then okay, I said, I think we
Something wrong.
Yeah, we are losing good potential in the market, but.
And you as an employee, again, you cannot do anything
Yeah,
with that.
So I think just few months before I finished my contract, we had usually every year the big boss from Japan, or the head roaster, the main head roaster from Japan will come visit us, and we share usually some knowledge and information.
Okay.
And we all agree that the coffee could taste better, but this standard also need to we always have to keep up with the standard, because this is how the business was planned to, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and it shows with, I would say, in terms of numbers, in terms of revenues,
Mm-hmm.
it shows it is good, and I think the branding also helps. They did really well with the branding.
Yeah, the brand is massive. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
world famous.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It's
true.
crazy.
So when I reached that point, I start to think. I think there are limitations that I cannot break if I'm still here,
Mm-hmm.
which I know that just from the coffee we can do something better, and I want to roast a better coffee at the time. So like just few months before I'm about to finish the contract, I found a moment to address my concern, because at that time I think the big boss, the owner also, he was there. So I tried to address and serve. I remember that time it was Brazilian coffee. I roast way much lighter than it was supposed to, and then the reaction, how he react was like, this is not coffee. This is fruit juice. I can taste orange. And for me, to me, that time it was compliment.
It's a compliment,
Okay, it's
yeah,
a Brazilian
okay.
coffee,
Yeah.
and you can taste it's some orange, still with roasted peanut. It was good. I said, no, this is not how a coffee should taste. Okay, then because I know my place that time. Okay, then I just let it be, and then I talked to the manager of the roastery. I said, I know you want me to continue, but I think I have bigger dreams that I want to chase, because I think we have the potential to even serve better coffee. But of course, I can understand your position as a businessman. I don't want to cross that, so I'll just finish my contract and.
That was a like sad moment for you to leave, because I think you were satisfied with the company itself, but not satisfied because you cannot do this artisanal job.
Yeah, that's true. I think more into the, because we had that time we had like a smaller roasting machine, which is 800 gram capacity. So before we profile it in the main production roasting, we used to do some at least 2 or 3 profiling in the smaller machine, right? So this time usually I play around, and I know they're not gonna drink this coffee. The managerial level people, because this is not, even though our palate will not lie, right?
Yeah.
If we taste something good.
Yeah.
So I asked them, is it taste good? Yeah, it tastes much better, but we cannot serve it. I said, okay, just for my record. I said, so from that moment, I knew that coffee can taste better, and I think if I have the chance to serve better coffee, I should go get that one. So after that, I decide, it's alright. I respect your business principles, because this is, again, you have to stick to the agreement in the beginning and stuff like that, and this is how the business was planned to be. I cannot do that much on that side, but this is just for me. I will just finish my responsibility, and that's it. But I think from that moment I understand there are other things that I learned a lot there, which is they are really paying attention to detail, which is, I think, something that is quite rare, and it is valuable for us to run business that way.
Yeah.
They're very attentive to detail. In, like, let's say, when you put paper cups, there is accounting of that paper cups. This row, it should be 12. This row, that's very Japanese way, and I personally like that on that part. Just the way I roast, I not agree with that. But on that part, I think it's really something that is hard to replicate by other business, I think, and that has been their core, and I think that's why also they grow really big in the business worldwide now. So fast forward after after I finished my contract, I joined another company which is here in Dubai, with the Espresso Lab as a head of roasting. It was a great time also. I think I get a lot of connection there. I taste a lot of really good coffee.
So finally you can utilize your potential.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's true. With great resource, you can serve even better coffee.
Yeah.
To be honest, and also I think I moved from a business that is in a much wider scale, bigger scale, into something very niche. Into something very niche, very specific, which is something that is new also for me. And I think the way I see it, both are giving me, like the stepping stone for where I am now. And if I can take good things from each places, I think I believe every business need their identity to be, to be held up to, because that is the core of your business. And if you change your identity, I mean, you're gonna be just like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it all goes from the top management or a visionary of the company, right? So if your staff listens to you, and if you stick to your standards, stick to your identity, you will grow, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be like all projects are the same, and we can see that in the Middle East, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So there are only few projects are discussable, like in the industry, and it's really hard to reach that level, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, like the things with opening up a business, I think people see others as an example because of their success, I think.
Yeah.
But behind that, I think there are so many factors that we did not see behind the scenes, and it is, like building a brand, budgeting.
Yeah.
There is a lot of other things that it's not feasible, but it is something that you should count in when you're trying to open a business.
True. Wow. So it was like the big move for you to go to the Espresso Lab, right? So you straight started to be the head roaster, right?
Yeah.
So you work hard every day as a roast master. By the way, to me it's always like a question to the roast masters. Is the job like, don't get you be bored, or it's like you just need to have like a special type of the character and like a temper, like, okay, I'm calm and I need to be focused? Because to me, I cannot imagine myself being a roast master, because I can't do this routine. I know it's a very important job. I can't say that it's routine and it's boring, but do you agree with me that you need to have special like type of the personality to be with the roasting machine, to do analysis of the beans and etc.?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it downs to the willingness or what you love about your life in coffee industry. Now, for myself, what I love is the process. So as long as I fall in love with the process, I will keep doing this. So, okay, I roast good coffee, tastes good, but how can I make it better? Then I have to do some experiments, change this. Oh, it tastes like this. Oh, I change the airflow. Oh, it tastes more acidic. Oh, I change this temperature, and then it gives me different results. So that all of that are the process. And if my goal was always the process, so whatever result that I'm getting from those long stage, this is what I'm chasing in the middle. Not the end result. Whatever is the end result, I got it as a complementary. So I think, because if you see it from outside, roaster sitting for 8 hours next to the machine, next to their laptops. I think
that's what I'm afraid of, you know.
on a daily basis, it's so boring. When I start as a barista, also I was like, what this guy doing here? Yeah.
Pressing buttons.
Yeah. Well, is he not like he don't want to go out or talk to customers or something? But based on my experience, when I'm in front of the roasting machine, I start roast. I can finally be in my own zone, in my own moment, and I can be doing anything I want in terms of roasting.
Yeah.
And this is the stage where it gives me passion and keep fueling me to do the same things. Well, but nowadays I'm not roasting that much. In counter we have head roaster, we have Luke and Ren, so and they are really good at what they are doing, so I trust them, and then I just take care about the quality control. So I also this time I kind of shape a little bit from the roasting side into more, I would say, business side. I think it is important to know how the entire coffee value chains works, because if I mean, like, pretty much everyone started as a baristas, but there are a lot of more than just that if you want to pursue a different career. But of course there's a lot of coffee shop owners also still working behind the bar because they love that path. That's all right. And there are also coffee shop owners who still roast their coffee because they love their part. So to me, to find what is possible, I think that's very important. So I had like 8 years roasting, so I think it is time for me to find what is possible apart from roasting. I still do roasting a little bit for my competition, for example. I try to roast myself still. That's kind of my core, like what I love and what I feel like I have the confidence that I can do really good. But in terms of work right now, I'm try to develop myself and grow myself in business side. Oh, okay. I know I can make a good coffee, but can I make a good coffee business run? That's two different things, you know. Because as a coffee snob, I think so many coffee snobs, we have the ability to make coffee taste good, but when it comes to run the business itself, I think it's really challenging. It's two different things, from making good coffee and making good business. Yeah, that's
What do you think the most challenging here running a coffee business in the Middle East? You worked in Kuwait and you're working now in the UAE. What is the common challenges you face?
Common challenge will be understanding your consumer. Yeah, that's quite challenging. I think I still see a couple of times that a coffee shop is just a copy paste from other coffee shops. They don't have core value. They don't know who they are in the market, because the market is very saturated, right?
Yeah.
So if everyone just keep doing the same things, we kind of try to grab the same piece of pie in the whole chunk. And I think there is more than just that if we understand who is our customers.
Yeah.
In my previous experience, like, we were kind of focused in let's say high-end specialty coffee. It was very niche, but we still have our customers. So the way I see it, that is quite rare here, the way I see it, to understand your customer, because we just want to, okay, I saw that coffee shop A making a good sales, I want to do something like that. But if you think about it, if that shop's doing really well and you're just starting, you're already losing few steps ahead from that job.
True.
So why you jump into something that that you don't know about? It's like,
Yeah, exactly. I think people, they don't know the idea, like which problems this coffee shop is, this particular one is resolving. So is it like your own audience, or you have the other problems which you can resolve? Because I think, speaking about business, business is all about issues in the markets, and you as a business owner, you need to resolve it and find solutions,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
And some people, they think, okay, I will get money immediately because this coffee shop is successful, but they don't understand the idea behind it. Like maybe they solve the issue with the price, or
Yeah.
with the service, or they provide with exclusive desserts, right? So they don't think about the particular path between the cash flow and the actually needs of the audience.
Yeah,
right?
that's very true. That's where I think we also need to have in terms of opening up coffee shops. I think you need the right team and right, let's say, if you are someone who doesn't have a background in coffee business, you need to find the right consultant, I would say. Because opening up a coffee shops or a roastery, it's not as easy as it seems. There are, research about the consumer behavior, and then also about the marketing. All of that factors you should process that to generate unique selling point for your business.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like every month maybe there is a new roastery, for example. We keep opening a roastery, but the speed, the speed of the growth of the roastery is not the same like coffee shops.
Yeah.
And then this become a challenge, basically. Become a challenge, and we can see a different practice will be implemented just to be able to sell coffees, or there are many things that we need to consider before opening a business.
Yeah. Proper analysis.
Yeah.
Why you do that? Why you do this business?
Yeah. That's true. That is one of the things that I learned again here with EatX. We don't compete with B2B.
Yeah.
We are not serving coffee outside, so I would say we are not competing with majority of the roastery there. We have our own venues, so we kind of focus internally. I think this is something that is very unique way of running a business, because I would say like encounter coffee roaster supplying coffees from for other venues, which is under EatX also.
So
it's
your
like,
own branches, right?
Yeah. It's like you just take your money here, put here,
Yes.
and that will generate more stable
Exactly,
cash
And
flow.
always your roasting machine is working.
Yeah.
So you don't wait the orders. You just
That's
roast
true.
for your branches.
And in terms of the scope of work, also I think it can be managed in more streamlined, because you can see which coffee goes out, when they're gonna serve it. Is it gonna be fresh when they serve it? Oh, okay. If it's going to be fresh, we need to do something in the calibration. Is it the coffee going to be too old in these venues? So by doing this type of business model, I think it's make us easier to control the quality of the coffee that we are serving, because everything is internal.
Yeah.
So you know everything about it, and you serve almost as consistent as you can.
Yeah.
Because like we don't deal with external factor that much.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah.
That's easier. And I think in terms of business to business standpoint also, we are not competing with anyone. We are very neutral, and we focus on internal development.
Yeah.
And we did not touch anyone. We are happy about with what we are doing.
That's good. I like this because you're building your own ecosystem.
Yeah,
You have your own standards. You have your own world, and you do right business in terms. It's not like the one and only way of doing business. No, it's about like how you can be successful, sustainable. Yes, it's an important part nowadays. And you don't need to compete and tell everyone that we are the best roaster in the world, buy coffee from us, right? So you just represent your vision on these products. The same with the food you serve, right? It's not about the coffee, because you have like not necessarily coffee shops, you have a bar, restaurants. So the recent project, on the beach, so it's amazing. I love it. And you're building it, and you don't care about any other comments. Of course, you have to listen to the customers. You get the feedback. By the way, how long you've been working with the EatX project?
I started recently. I think roughly 4 months.
4 months. Is it still like something? But it's something different, definitely, because you worked in the cafe, in the roastery, and then again in the roastery. Now you have more tasks. I think you are multitasking right now because you need to be responsible for every branch. But speaking of EatX, so you supply your branches, and every cafe and restaurant drinks coffee from Encounter, right? But do you supply others, or you just have only like retail and packages you can buy, and that's it?
We do have retail also, and e-commerce website also, of course, and we do have some B2B customers. These customers is like long-time customers. I think about 3 years back they start with us, but along this year we did not add any B2B customers. So
it's not the part of your business to push a roastery as a supplier for every restaurant here in Dubai?
No. Here's the thing that I learned about. I think people did not see it also. If you have your own venues, your own coffee shops, let's say you have a roastery, but you have your own coffee shops. This is way much better plan, because you already have the end platform where you're gonna serve your coffee. So the thing is, if we speak about margin, if you sell coffee in a B2B, roughly you get like how many percent only the margins, the profits. But if you sell it in the shops, in 1 kg, you get about 40 to 50 cups. That's huge difference, right?
Definitely.
So that's what I think people did not see it. I mean, opening a roastery is more fancy, I think, but of course you have to find a way to be sustainable in terms of running business, because
who will buy coffee from you?
That's true. Because when you open a business, it requires trade license, not charity license. So you have to keep in mind that you do trading, you do buy and sell. You need to sell your products, and someone needs to buy your product.
That's what I love about your current company. And speaking of EatX again, how do you ensure that your baristas are everywhere well trained and they serve the same standards? Or do you grabbed something from your experience in Arabica and you have standards, or you already got the standards before you joined the EatX?
So before I joined, of course, there are already a good standard implemented across the venues. So when I joined, I kind of spent few weeks to analyze and observe what is the strength and weakness of the baristas and the current coffee operations. And what I found is each baristas, they have a different level of expertise, I would say. So because initially I was planning to do some training, okay, we're gonna organize training this day. It will be, let's say, sensory. Then we're gonna send few baristas to the roastery, let's say. But after some observation, not everyone ready for that level of training,
Yes.
and not everyone need to attend that training because they are already quite advanced. So I try to go more tailored, one by one. Right now I'm visiting like each shops and try to spend more time on hands with one or two baristas. So the whole on that shift I will spend time with them only, maybe one or two baristas. We're gonna talk about the calibration, about the tasting, about whatever subjects that need to be trained that day. And it takes times because I think we have maybe 100 baristas, 150 or
Wow.
yeah, something like that. So it takes times to do that, but I think it will be more relevant for the operation, because if I just throw some knowledge randomly and I don't know if these baristas can receive it or not, and it's gonna be a waste of time, and also it will make them even more confused about what I'm training.
Exactly, yeah. That's good approach. It's like the same as university maybe. So you need to be sure that this group is like this level, this one another level, and you need to divide them. Otherwise, it's like useless, and you waste your time, and they waste their time, and there is no point. So you actually have the training for junior baristas and senior baristas. Yeah, depends on the experience. Yeah, It's but before that, you need to check you need to assess them, right?
That's true.
Which knowledge they have. Yeah, true. And some of them maybe they don't need advanced training in terms of they're gonna work just in restaurant and they're not gonna serve like V60 or they're not gonna compete. Yeah, interesting. Also regarding education, what do you think? How is the level of education right now here in the Middle East?
That's very interesting. That is something that I really want to share some insight. I think we have like huge gap between, I would say, not everyone. I mean, I've seen a lot of baristas have advanced knowledge, but I think in general we still have that huge gap between, like, I would say, people who is not in the bar anymore, like trainer or a roaster or a quality control person or a green buyer. People like us we have massive information about the coffee, but the challenge right now, that the way I see it, is how to translate those information to baristas, and then baristas can translate that information to the end consumer, because this gap is kind of the source of almost every problem that we are facing right now. Okay, let's say a baristas doesn't have really sharp ability tasting good coffees, let's say, or differentiate good coffees and not so good coffees.
Yeah.
Then this present a very vital challenge already, because they are the end value chain who gonna serve the coffee, the customer. So if they don't know how a good coffee should taste, then how can they are sure that this coffee is servable for customers? That's a major challenge. And also I've seen a couple of times when I walk around in some coffee shops, I just ask a little, because sometimes I really enjoy walking around in some random coffee shops just to drink and try. And sometimes I found new origins that I haven't tried in my life, and then I start to ask questions. Then they don't know what they are serving. I was like,
yeah, that's sad.
Okay, I said. And then when I'm about to, okay, so from where you are getting this coffee? And then I'm not sure, they don't want to tell me, or they are not allowed to tell me, something like that. And I was like, why? And so, but at that point, I remember my younger self, that when I was a barista, I don't know anything also, but okay, I was like, that's strange, but why? I always question myself, Why is that? Because if it's a really good coffee, it deserves a credit. And I think if I come as a customer, I deserve I deserve the rights to know what I'm drinking also,
Exactly.
because I pay some money, right? So I think that is still present until now. I saw many times. Basically, it's supposed to be just the same. Let's say you are serving milk beverage, which milk you are using, it's just the same. I think it's just ingredients, it's just materials. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, true. So, but it depends again whether this company has a head barista or the management who pushes people to know the product, because again, it starts from the top. If one person wants to open a coffee shop, they from the scratch, so they don't even have the idea that they need to explain to your staff that the product itself is important. You need to know that, because how it's going on here. I'm going to open a coffee shop, I'm going to hire the barista, he will work 6 days in a row, and that's it. And I'm going to buy coffee from one roastery. That's it. And barista, he is just a worker. He just comes to work, serves the coffee, and he doesn't know the idea about processing, the cup, from seed to cup, the chain, what's happening. And for them, we can't blame the barista, I think. Yeah, so because I strongly believe that it all comes from the management. Yeah. And yeah, that's weird if you work in a nice, fancy coffee shop where they invested in design, in marketing, in everything, but not in education.
Yeah, yes, true.
I think this is the weakest part of the market in the UAE nowadays. The investment only in design, in equipment, but not in education. And some people, they explain, oh, we're afraid to invest in people because they anyway gonna leave us. But how come you think like that if you can just create the nice environment? You can treat your barista and they will stay with you for many years. Because what's the point? Like, to use the company as a start point. Okay, in some cases it can work out, but sign an agreement, make nice environments. Yeah, for some, in terms of business, some coffee business owners, they don't understand that how education is important for them even, because they will get more customers. Because, for example, you just told the example, you came to the coffee shop, they didn't tell you the answer. Would you like to come again to this cafe? I don't think so. But if you were discussing the coffee with the barista, of course you would love to come again, buy again coffee, to have this conversation, because eventually coffee shops is about connection. It's about people, from like customer with the baristas, right? So this is like the reality which we need to somehow to improve. Do you do something like that in EatX project, maybe in Encounter? Do you push your baristas to explain the cup profile or the coffee, or do you train them to know each coffee package's info?
Yeah, so most of our baristas are already equipped with that information. So basically, the information that is related to product that we are serving, it is not just the baristas. Basically, the baristas and the waiters also, they need to understand. Not the very deep stuff, but at least what is written in the packaging to explain. So that is, we done that for a long time, and I think even until now in EatX, I still amazed by how good the customer service level are. This is when I just first few weeks joined the company, I was like, oh, we are missing this part. I was like, customer service and hospitality in I mean, not I only see in EatX, but I believe in other restaurant business also, they have really good customer service and hospitality, and I think this is why, like in the restaurant, they get paid by salary, tip, and service, because this is something that something that make people want to come again and again. Really good product, it should be always there consistently, and a really good service also should be there always. Good service can be the way they treat the customer, the way they explain to the customer about the products. All of this stuff, I think we can learn a lot from other industry as well.
Exactly.
Because it happens also to me a long time ago, like when we, when we were too deep and we know a very particular thing. We talk about water, we talk about particle size, and then we end up like being. I was a little bit selfish because all I cared at the time it was about, as long as I understand, I don't care. As long as I understand this subject, I don't care about the customer. This coffee is good for me, should be good for them.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
That's not the reality.
Yeah, true. Hospitality is very important, but I think EatX, they do invest in hospitality a lot, like in the service trainings and in staff.
It's
yeah,
true.
that's why you're sort of successful, I would say. Yeah, it's still growing.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, we are like our cafes are like Melbourneian type of cafes, so it's not like the very hype specialty coffee side. So we serve good coffee but we also serve good food and good other beverage also. So
that's the best combo. What else do you need? You need good food and like simple, but at the same time delicious. It's not like in the typical coffee shops here. You have this simple croissant and one cheesecake, and everywhere is the same. Brownie, cheesecake, croissant, and matcha. What's the concept everywhere? Okay, maybe it's just go-to concept. But yeah, speaking of your projects, like Tom and Search, for instance, kitchen is amazing. Yeah, I love it personally. Also, I wanted to open up with you at the topic about ethics in the coffee industry. So nowadays we've heard some discussions about unethical behavior between different companies due to high competition. So what do you know about it, and how we can resolve that issue until it reaches the peak point?
Okay, let me drink first.
Yes.
This is, sorry.
Okay.
This is quite complex. Maybe you might be surprised with my answer. So I've heard a lot about it, and I think we can see these matters from different standpoint. The market is very saturated, like we talked earlier. There are so many roastery keep opening every month, and then the growth of roastery is not the same as the growth of coffee shops. So we end up to selling the coffee in the same coffee shops. In that case, our competition is not quality anymore. Our focus become how can we put more quantity in the shop? How can we boost the sales in these coffee shops? So the quality is not the unique selling point anymore. We start competing with the price, and then when the competition is about the price, we might compensate with the quality. We bring lower quality, and then we kind of create a different offerings, but behind that the quality is lower than what we used to offer, something like that. There are many things that maybe will happen because of this market saturation, but it all came back to the business models or the business principles, and also education. Again, it's important. So if we look from the business standpoint, I would say in the beginning they need to kind of set their business blueprint since the beginning. Who am I? Okay, I'm I'm a coffee roastery that will focus on, let's say, focus on quality of coffee, let's say. Okay, that is my core value. Okay, and other roastery, let's say, we are a coffee roastery who's still selling specialty coffee with huge quantity. That is your unique selling point. So if you already set your business model and your core value, I think we're not gonna end up in this, massive competition where we try to do everything to get at the same coffee shops. I've heard a lot about the commission, the compensation from roasteries to baristas. From the way I see it, from business standpoint, I would say back in the university days, basically we studied that type of business strategy. So if we talk about a business strategy, I think as an economic graduate, I will not say it's wrong because we studied, maybe until this day, we still study that subject about how to boost sales by doing commission. Also, I think the other terms also, like we still see many times about cashback. It's basically almost the same, something like that. So if we see it from business strategy, I think it's nothing wrong at all. Now, if we narrow it down to the how those business strategy is implemented, then I think we can see which one is right, which one is kind of unethical. Yeah, because again, as a coffee shops, if I'm a head barista or if I'm the manager of the coffee shops, my goal is to serve a best tasting coffee, or let's say serve the coffee that tastes based on the taste representing my coffee shop brands.
Exactly.
That's how I will put it, right?
Yeah.
So the priority should be the quality first. So regardless you're gonna get compensation or not, that is leave it behind. So as long, let's say I take a coffee from this roastery ABC, I took from B. The quality is good and it match how I want to serve good coffee in my coffee shop, then I'm gonna take, they give us a commission. And I think the right implementation to do it, that those commission or cashback should go to the business establishment, should not to the person.
Someone's pocket, yeah.
Not to me as the coffee shop manager, for example, because in the reality, that is a resource of a company, right? Not person.
Yeah.
We purchase those coffee with company budget. That means everything that came from that belongs to the company. So if we get cashback, it's cashback for the company.
Cashback to the company to develop more and to improve quality. It will be win-win situation for customers, for the company, and for the person who sells coffee.
That's the way how I see it from business standpoint. It is, I think, pretty normal. If I see it from real estate, financial market, automotive, and then what many business applying this type of strategy, this is pretty normal. I think even in university we study this, so it's pretty okay. But how we implement it and how the person in charge apply that, I think that should be questionable. I've seen like I don't know. I've seen like let's say these coffee shops has 4 grinders. These grinders from roastery A, roastery B, roastery C, roastery D, and then the coffee shop's owner asks the baristas to pull a shot with this grinder C, for example, because he is getting something from the roastery B. He pulled the shots of this grinder C, not in the calibration, in a calibrated way, Okay, instead of pulling it 1-to-2 ratio, he pull it 1-to-3 ratio to make it taste weak, to make it taste worse. And then when the owner tastes it, it's not taste good. Let's change. You're gonna change. That I mean, like, I witnessed that, and I was really upset about that, because it's not supposed to happen. And I marked his name at that time. I will remember. But good thing he's not in this country anymore. The person, and I was like, this already crossing the border. Because I'm okay with the business strategy again. I studied it, so it's fine with me. But that is, I would say, fraud, because you are doing fraud with company assets, right? Why you have to do? It's the same like corruption. You intentionally change your own calibration just to convince the owner to change coffee.
Hilarious.
That's become wrong. I experienced also a couple of times a long time ago. Some clients asked me, did you give the time? I forgot the terms that he was telling to me, like, did you give commission or compensation, something like that. And then on that time, I think it was these topics was not really not really open up yet. So I was thinking, what is this guy asking to me? I was like, yeah, we do overtraining. I would say like that. We do overtraining, and we do like, if you want to consult some about competition or other stuff, we do overtraining. No, that's not what I'm talking about. And I was just keep thinking, what do you mean? And then he was explaining about this specifically about the bribe. And I was like, oh no, we don't do that. And then I was kind of asking my colleague, is that real what he was asking, or he was joking? Because that time we don't have these topics yet in the market. So it was really my first encounter to hear about that. And then I was kind of confused. And then I was like, okay, this is what he means. So I was kind of angry at that time. I called the person, so you want to buy coffee because it's good, or it's good for you? I said like that. And then we exchanged some arguments that time, because I mean, like, that time I was still roasting, so I get pretty offended because the coffee tastes good. And I thought it was complaint about
but they
the
did
coffee,
it intentionally to ruin your coffee.
I was disappointed, and because usually if we made mistake in the roasting or anything, we should resolve that immediately. And I was trying to resolve that, and that's not the case. It's not about quality, it's about something else. And I was pissed off that time.
So depends on you. Depends on the employee and how fair they are. And does it match with your inner values as well? True. Any other strategies in place to stay away of the competition, which is oversaturated again? Do you have something in mind?
I think,
besides commission, besides this, what's happening?
Well, I think the proven strategy that I see now is what we are doing with EatX. You roast your coffee for your own.
There is no middleman.
There is nothing, and then
no sales manager.
No, we deal direct, and the cash flow will be internally, so it's good for the ecosystem of the company. You push each brand, each venues, one and another, and it keep you. I think that's when I realized this is the real understanding of sustainable.
So do you see like EatX is like the perfect concept for doing coffee business, like not coffee business, like business itself?
For doing a business, if that's what you want, I think but if you are craving for different type of business which is more into high-end specialty coffee, competition coffees, competition series. I think you have to plan a different type of business model, because in EatX and in Counter we only have like 7 origins and 2 blends. That's it.
Well, that's it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like a big roasteries, but
yeah. I mean, and it's
still you have options.
Yeah, it's pretty manageable, and in terms of consistency, it's easier to track. Because if you have, imagine if you have 4 competition coffees in one shops, and if it's natural anaerobic and this thermal shock, maybe you will spend a few hours just to calibrate, because that's very complicated.
Yeah.
And I think also you need to consider some wastage, and also this type of coffee is also not for everyone, so you have to consider another cost. If the coffee gets old, there's many factors, and it all down, I think, to what you want as a business. So if you define your business model, business purpose, and invest in the right factors in terms of running the business, again, I think like what we talked earlier, invest in education of the staff is very important, because if you have a well-educated staff, I think the problems that we talked earlier also might not occur, because they're gonna go for the quality first, and then if they are well educated with the trend, with the business, and you don't have to question if they're gonna stay or no anymore, right? Because sometimes business owners, they tend to, again, like you said, they don't want to invest in education because maybe this person will leave. Well, I mean, if they are a good person and the baristas will leave for something great, even better, you should be happy for him, basically. And if he want the baristas to stay even longer, I think it's up to the business owner or the management to equip them with the right environment, the right education, the right support, and have a proper path for their career, because they're not going to be baristas for the whole time, 6 or 8 years. At least they have a stepping stone to become a head barista, maybe supervisor, store manager, or even pursue a different path in the coffee industry in general. And if the business owners really serious about the business, he can take the baristas, become a part of those bigger plans. For example, we start with coffee shops. We want to open a roastery. Then you took this senior staff to be part of it, become the roaster, invest in education, send him to roasting
Believe
training.
in your staff.
Yeah. And after few years running the roastery and coffee shop, you want to go, you want to open your own washing station, for example, in it. You take another staff, make them Q processor or Q grader, send them there, and I think that's depend on the plan. If there is right plan, definitely the staff will stay.
Sure. Do you see yourself in the current company for many years? Like, are there many problems you want to resolve, or you want to like finish your contract and go to another company?
Yeah, I mean, as for now, because I'm still new, of course, I still have a lot. I'm really interested in overcoming many challenges, because I see my weakness also. Okay, I know a lot about coffee, but how about business? How about budgeting? How about forecasting? And then how about managing staff? There are many part in this coffee business that is actually not very technical about coffee, but it is promising, and it is, I would say, it is going to be beneficial for you to understand this other non-coffee part.
Yeah. So there are too many things to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
True. Good. Well, good luck in your journey because we need to wrap up our episode.
All right.
It was a pleasure to talk to you about your coffee path, and I want our audience to understand that there is too many things. And speaking about coffee, there are lots of things to learn, and in coffee industry, you can develop yourself in many fields, right?
Yeah.
In many departments of the coffee industry. Is there something you want to add?
I think just stay hungry
Yeah.
and be humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Whatever you are, stay hungry and keep learning. Be humble. I mean, my younger self, I wasn't very humble. I'm pretty sure I was quite arrogant, but now I'm very quiet.
Growing.
Yeah, I'm very quiet. I'm not talking too much. I think observe and learn.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Good. Thank you for these words. We need to wrap up. Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, anytime. And it was the podcast, Coffee Business in the Middle East. Bye-bye. The best way to support our podcast is to subscribe to YouTube channel, Spotify, or Apple Podcast. If you want to participate in our giveaway, leave a comment with your feedback or insight from this episode, and stay tuned for the results on my Instagram. We appreciate your support, and don't forget to share this episode with your friends, colleagues, and fellow coffee enthusiasts. Thank you for the listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.